Become a member today.
At Odyssey, to create a diverse and inclusive workforce, we encourage local organizations to refer qualified applicants. Simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com to be notified of all open positions. And we invite our listeners to visit odyssey.com/careers to view a listing of all job openings.
Your coworkers might annoy you, but we promise we won't. Download the free Odyssey app and you can listen to us at work while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Tune in late? You can rewind your favorite live shows to catch what you missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ-FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Good morning, Area! It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
Move on, Joe!
God, I love a pitcher's duel. It does something to me. It's like the smell of napalm in the morning. Fresh tennis balls out of a canister. Gasoline. That's what was on display yesterday at Oracle Park. Chris Sale, Blake Snell. That was I want to clap. This is beautiful baseball right there. Now, Giants didn't win. 1-0 the final. That sucks. But Blake Snell, this guy is just... He's unbelievable. He really is. Blake Snell, this second half, as he goes 6 1/3 yesterday, gives up 2 hits, had a no-no going for a while, 3 walks, 11 Ks, 114 pitches, and his ERA is all the way down to 3.91. And you might say, oh, it's a pretty good season. Yeah, he was at like a bajillion for most of the year. The fact that he's at 3.91 now on August 13th is actually pretty insane and speaks to how well he has actually been pitching just as of late. And he really has been unbelievable. I mean, his last 2 starts alone, you go 12 innings, 6 hits, 19 Ks. Just go his last 2, right? Well, just go his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go 6 innings, 9 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings, 11 Ks, 8, 11, 15, 4. And you might say, okay, that's great, but what are the earned runs at? Well, the most he's given up was at Washington. That was 3. And that was just, you know what? Someone got a hold of one. And that happens. And that was coming off a no-hitter. Still a quality start. 3 runs, 6 innings. That's all he's been, has been quality. That is what the word I am using today to describe Blake Snell. Quality. And again, tough loss yesterday. You look at the standings right now as we go at 888-957-9570. That's the number to get involved in. Good morning to all you lovely people just getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for school, getting ready for whatever. I was at school yesterday. Young Benjamin Spadoni. Yeah, and they're calling it transitional kindergarten now. That's a new, relatively new thing in the last, I think, 5-10 years in California anyways. It's like if you're a tweener, but you want to get that kid out of the house and they're not ready for, they're done with preschool, but their age doesn't allow them to go into kindergarten yet because Benny's on that cutoff of where he's going to be really old or really young in his class. So they got transitional kindergarten now for those kind of kids. And he did amazing. You know what? He kept telling me, Daddy, I'm scared, but you know what? He ended up going anyways. And I told him, that's what brave people do. You do something even though you're scared. You still do it anyways. So I was so proud of him. Had a little tears in his eyes. That's okay. I almost got a little tears in mine too. But when I picked him up that day around 2 o'clock or whatever it was, Big smile on his face, ran to me, said he had a great day. Can't wait to go back. Perfect. Sure, it's all downhill from here, right? It's great. I'm sure he'll love first day of school forever. Can't wait for middle school. Can't wait for high school. College. One step at a time. And that's what the Giants are doing as I bring it back here. Going one step at a time. As we look at the National League standings, Giants 2.5 back from that third and final wild card spot. The Arizona Diamondbacks and Padres just, you can't lose. It sucks right now that you're the fourth best team in your own division, that being the Giants. That's just the reality, though. And I think that just speaks to how good that division is. I think we, went down all of them last week. I think the AL East is probably the best of all of them. But again, I know how bad the Rockies are, and they're the worst team in the National League by far. The Giants, Padres, Diamondbacks, and Dodgers, it's a hell of a top four. And can the Giants just hang around? Again, just hang around, which they've been doing. You're going to win most of these Snell starts. You're not going to really have those that you had yesterday. I mean, prior to that, he won 3 out of his last 4. 3 of the last 5. But can the Giants just hang around? At least until football starts. And in that case, well, I won't be paying as much attention to you, but you know what? I've been paying a lot more attention the last couple of weeks. That's for damn sure. But this is where they're starting to flirt a little bit. This is where you can get in trouble. Is you get a couple games over 500, start feeling good about yourself, and you've lost 2 in a row, and you're late game over. Last thing you want to do is get back to 500, get back to being a game under 500, and then you're playing catch-up again. This is not the time of the year to be playing catch-up. All right? This is when you're starting to try to pull away. That's what the Padres are doing. That's what the Diamondbacks are doing. That's what the Dodgers are doing, who've won 4 in a row as of late. Dodgers all of a sudden red hot. What do you know? Getting Mookie Betts back helps a lot. Oh, by the way, did you see Shohei Ohtani yesterday? 3-0 pitch, 430 the other way. What a sick SOB that guy is. God, he's amazing. It's just incredible. He is. Also incredible, Blake Snell. Here's the ace, reigning NL Cy Young winner, talking yesterday about wanting to pitch deeper into games, even though his stuff has been electric.
When you're dialed in, the guy on the other side is just as dialed in. What does that sort of do for you, or how does that affect your mentality during the game?
It doesn't affect me too much. I just know that I got to try to, last longer than him to give us a really good opportunity to win. He weighs 7, and probably why they won the game. So got to find a way to go deeper. Always competing against, the other starter to go as deep as you can. Help your team, help the bullpen. So
You don't really see anybody go 114 twice in 3 starts anymore. Where are you at physically right now? Is this about as strong as you felt in the last few years?
No, I felt stronger the last couple years. I feel good, but just the injuries early in the season, I could gain momentum and get stronger and stronger. But I do feel like I'm getting stronger every outing, just not last couple of years. I was definitely stronger because of pitching.
Blake Snell there talking about, just getting stronger and wanting to go deeper into games. And again, 114 pitches yesterday, only lost 6 1/3. But again, just Cy Young stuff. That's all we've come to know Blake Snell the last month or two. And here's his skipper the last 2 seasons, Bob Melvin, one in San Diego now and obviously San Francisco. Bo Mel thinks he's pitching better this year, stuff-wise, than last year when he won a Cy Young.
You obviously saw Blake last year when he had a sort of a similar stretch in the second half. Is this comparable to that or even better?
I think it's a little better, actually, because it feels like he's got a no-hitter going almost every game. And, the strikeouts on top of it. I think his mix of pitches is even a little bit more so this year with the way the curveball, his usage of the curveball. It's every bit as good, if not maybe a little better as far as the stuff goes.
Last 7 games from Blake Snell. It's unbelievable. 2-0, 0.99 ERA, 45 1/3 innings pitched, gives up 14 hits, 5 earned runs, 14 walks, 60 strikeouts, .62 whip. It's been unbelievable. He's been unbelievable. And yes, is it going to hurt when he leaves this offseason and you don't make the playoffs? Yes, that would hurt. All the more reason to get into the damn playoffs, give this guy an opportunity in a series, give Logan Webb an opportunity in a series, and then see what happens. I mean, who else would you rather have right now as a 1-2 combination heading into a playoff series than Blake Snell and Logan Webb? You give me your response at 888-957-9570. I'm taking those guys every single day of the week. It's not even close. Not even close. And don't give me hypotheticals. Oh, if Shohei was healthy and pitching. I was like, well, he's not. Although I think he's starting to do bullpen sessions, stuff like that. But he's not expected to pitch this season for the Dodgers anyways. I'm taking Blake Snell. I'm taking Logan Webb. They're only 2.5 back. And we keep saying that. They're only this. They're only that. Cardinals, the Mets, and the Braves are ahead of them in that third wildcard spot. That's why that loss did hurt yesterday. And you go to the loss column, Giants are 4 back of Atlanta in that loss column. 60 losses for the Giants, 56 for Atlanta. All the more reason to bounce back and try to take this series. This is a make or break series for this season. I don't say that often, but this one, because of just how close you are in the standings and how much Atlanta has been teetering as of late, they've been getting their asses kicked, guys. I mean, the only reason they won yesterday, they got the ghost runner. They weren't getting any runs other than that. They had to manufacture that. And shout out Yaz. That was actually a very difficult catch. He made it look really nonchalant in right field. That was a hell of a catch. That easily could have been a 2-run double right there. And then you're feeling horrible and you end up losing the game anyways. But I thought that was a hell of a catch. But the Braves are scuffling right now. They can't score to save their lives. The problem is the Giants can't either right now. Can someone drive in a run? Can someone get on base and create something right now? That is what we need. Hit me up. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. We're streaming on all those platforms. Just search 95.7 The Game and all of them. They're all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Go ahead and hit me up on Twitter at Spadoni_Joe. Again, we're streaming on there as well. And I had a retweet so you can see this beautiful face at 5:11 a.m. I know you missed it. Yes, the nose is real and it's spectacular for all those watching worldwide. For all those who are watching the Olympics and it's just like, I don't have anything to watch right now. Let's see what this Spadoni guy's got. Well, welcome. I mean, it's not the Olympics, but it's the next best thing. Speaking of the Olympics, I didn't get a chance to react to what I saw on Sunday. And damn it, I'm playing the highlights because they're on my board and I can. Steph Curry. I was just so happy to be an American and that guy being on my team. There's just certain times where even if a guy's not on your team or you don't root for a given player and then they are on your team and it's just like, oh, that's what it feels like. The entire nation got to feel what it felt like to be a Golden State Warriors fan and have Stephen Curry just go absolutely nuclear and just rip the hearts. Sacre bleu. They just went chicken cordon bleu, Chef Curry on that ass in the fourth quarter. And it was tremendous.
Durant, back to Curry, dancing on Batum, over the double team. Oh! It's a golden dagger! Night! Curry, unconscious in the fourth. Davis with a rebound. Up ahead for Booker. Exclamation point. He's a bad boy. Night. 8 threes for Curry. He has sent the French crowd into a frenzy they will never forget.
Just incredible call. Noah Eagle, Dwayne Wade, NBC Sports. That's going to be the tandem, right? For NBA on NBC. That's got to be the crew. Noah Eagle made a name for himself. Like Steph Curry did, who already had a name for himself, but I thought Noah Eagle shined the most throughout this entire run. If we're going broadcasters, he was tremendous. I mean, and his stock is just sky high. And I know, what does NBC have this year college football wise? They got Big 10, Big 12. They got one of them. I forget which one. I know they always have Notre Dame, so they'll have some. So you'll hear No Eagle in there too. He's just really good. Hey, listen, I'll be the first to tell you, a little nepotism. He's the Iron Eagle's son. But you know what? Gets his foot in the door, and it's about what you do with it. And he's good. He's really good. So he's gotten his opportunity and ran away with it. I can't knock the hustle. Works very hard, very good at what he does. I know a lot of people are probably like, oh, Nepo, baby. Well, unfortunately, that's the reality in our world. I don't think it's ever going to not be. Privileged people will get privileges. That's just how the world works. Stephen Curry, a guy privileged as well, did the most with his opportunity in the NBA. Now one of the greatest players in the history of the sport. Although, I think we need to just, I got to be careful here. I know where I'm broadcasting. I know where we're at. I know the sign behind me says Golden State Warriors. I do think it's just the rhetoric, and not just Steph, by the way. I saw this with LeBron. I'm seeing with the gold medal's really great. It's nice. It means a lot to these guys. I don't know how massive of an achievement it is when you compare to what these guys have done in the NBA Finals, in the NBA regular season. It definitely means something. I'm not saying it doesn't, but the fact that we're now making it a career-altering thing where it's just like, that's it. LeBron's the greatest ever now. This seals the deal. Steph Curry, top 5. This seals the deal. I mean, 15-point favorites, 20-point favorites, 20-point favorites, 30-point favorites. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. I don't want to take anything away from what LeBron James and Stephen Curry did. They were amazing. I think that pick and roll between Steph and LeBron, I think it can cure cancer. I hope it can. If we can just get that, bottle it up, and just disperse it, that is how amazing that is. But let's take a deep breath and just realize the USA is still far and away the most stacked when it comes to the sport of basketball. Men and women's. I know the women's got us scared too, but they won. And that's 8 straight gold medals for Team USA on the women's side. Oh my God. 8 straight. It's unbelievable. Brandon Payne. Yeah. Sick last name, I know. Stephen Curry's personal trainer joined the morning roast yesterday, and shout out Sam Lubman holding it down for me in my absence behind the glass. Doing wonderful things. Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys pod, by the way. New one out this week. Check it out. Sam Lubman, Joe Shasky. The best when it comes to Giants talk. But Brandon Payne, one of the best when it comes to Stephen Curry talk, because the guy knows him inside and out, has been working with him forever. Join the guys yesterday. Find the entire interview on YouTube or the free Odyssey app. Download that. Brandon Payne, about his conversation he had with Stephen Curry after that game against France.
Even for me, it was surprisingly emotional for both of us, I think. And just the fact that, to watch him play for a championship, to watch him play in games that are high pressure, that are very meaningful games, those are the games he loves to play in. And so after the game, I wasn't really expecting to hear from him. And I certainly, he had just gotten off the TV with Mike Tirico, and my phone rang, and it was him, and I was very shocked. And he just called, and we just kind of shared a moment and reflected on the past 15 years, and just kind of, talked through. The only question I did ask him was, what were you thinking on that last shot you took? And he just kind of laughed and said that I was too tired to do anything else. I just had to get it up and out of my hands. I said, well, it worked. It worked out, so congratulations. But
that's so disrespectful. Not to Brandon Payne, but to the country of France. Stephen Curry was just so tired, he hoisted one up, and it was just an FU3, night, see you later. Oh, sacre bleu. Oh, man. Chef was cooking up all the French specials on Sunday, wasn't he? Chicken cordon bleu, escargot. That's pretty much all my French cuisine knowledge. A souffle. I can keep going. Is it beignet? Is that like Southern though, French? I don't. It's just being able to root for him is something else. Terrified to root against him. You never want to do that. Guy strikes the fear of God into you. But rooting for him? Oh, it's orgasmic. Brandon Payne. Steph and LeBron, the only athletes who understand each other.
It was important for those two guys as well. Admittedly, we had a little bit of a rivalry there for a while with LeBron and, of course, with the Cavs. But I think that LeBron and Steph, the people have asked me this all through this Olympic process, like, why do you think they're getting along so well? Why do you think they're so close? And here's the answer. They're the only two guys in the world that can truly understand each other. Those two guys are celebrities so far and beyond basketball to a level that not many other NBA guys can even understand. So, getting them together, that was the first time that they were really able to be with somebody for an extended period of time that understands them, that gets what they go through on a daily basis, and that can kind of, they can kind of talk about similar things. And I think they both really appreciated that.
The athleticism, the level of play that we are seeing from these guys at this age is really unheard of. Specifically for LeBron. I mean, the guy's almost 40 years old. He won MVP. And I get it. I know a lot of Warriors fans are upset. Steph should have won the MVP. He had the two most important games. LeBron was the best player throughout the tourney, though. Steph was quiet until the last two games. He was. But at 39 years old, what's Steph? He's going to be 36, 37. He's 36. He's going to be 37 on Pi Day next year, March 14th. Unbelievable. I had to give my salute as an American watching that Sunday. Didn't get a chance to react to it yesterday. Didn't get a chance to react to the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk and the talks coming back up now. They're renegotiating. They're back on the table. They aired some grievances. Well, that was on Friday. It's Tuesday now. So are we just back to the status quo with Ayuk, with Kyle Shanahan, with John Lynch? What's going on there? Well, Kyle Shanahan spoke yesterday, and he trusts that Brandon Ayuk is at least staying in shape.
Not with us. I trust Brandon knows what he's got to do for this year to get ready to play. I have a feeling he's finding a way to stay in shape and do those things. But there's a football shape element that I know he's eager to get back to, and us too. So hopefully we can get to that soon. But Brandon knows what he's got to do to be in shape for the season, and I feel confident he's doing that.
We'll see. I mean, it took a while for Nick Bosa to get into that last year. It took a while for Deebo Samuel to do that. This is part of this holdout process that sucks ultimately, is that I'm going to expect a slightly lesser version, or maybe even not slightly, maybe just a lesser version of Brandon Ayuk, because it's going to take him some time. And that's going to mean you need more out of Deebo Samuel, a guy with a lot of wear and tear already. More out of George Kittle. When have we heard that before? Oh, wait, all the time. Can I get more from Kittle? Ricky Pearsall, rookie. He's already got... I swear to God, the Niners and their ability to draft players that are hurt all the time in the first round is just unheard of. And I get it, it's a crapshoot sometimes, but Pearsall already dealing with the soft tissue injuries. He's had it lingering since college. We've had Herm Edwards on, who coached him at ASU. He said the same thing. He's a guy you got to protect from himself because he only knows one speed. And that kind of scares me, because the greatest and the ones that have the longevity, their game isn't predicated on just extreme athleticism all the time. Think of guys like Larry Fitzgerald, who, yes, was an amazing athlete, knows when to pick and choose his spots. Jerry Rice, amazing athlete, worked all the freaking time, but he knew when to turn it on, when to take it down a little bit. That's part of this process, going from the college ranks from high school to college to the pros. You have got to learn the different speeds of when to go full throttle, when to take it back. That's not just for wide receivers. That's for quarterbacks when it's in like the weight room, stuff like that. You don't want to get too jacked. Don't want to get overworked. That's how you get hurt. It's for defensive linemen. It's for offensive line. It's for everyone. Knowing when to pick and choose your spots. And it's absolutely going to be true for Christian McCaffrey this year, who, again, dealing with the calf strain, which scares the hell out of me. After the year he had and the workload he had, and they want to lessen his workload this year, which is good. I love that. But again, this offense is the sum of its parts. And if there's a cog in there that makes everything go, it is Christian McCaffrey. And if he can't go week one, if this thing lingers on, and you got Ayuk, and if he is there week one, and maybe he's not up to speed, maybe he's not in football shape, I'm nervous. I am. And maybe you can say they miss me with all this nervous energy. They're fine. They got Brock Purdy. You guys are going to get paid $300 million. They still got George Kittle. They got Deebo Samuel. I acknowledge all of that. I would like also to have 2 all-pro players, an offensive player of the year in Christian McCaffrey, 100% of speed. Oh, and by the way, where's Trent Williams at? Have you heard from Trent? Where's Trent? I don't know. Hanging out? Where's he from? Texas? Over there watching some high school football in his overalls? Where's Trent Williams at? And what? It's been so damn quiet on the Trent Williams front and just the criticism level. We all want to crush Brandon Ayuk. Trent Williams, this is his 5th. How many contracts has this guy had? It's just, I understand Ayuk right now and trying to secure the bag for the future and what could be the biggest payday he gets ever, right? But Trent Williams, if we're just going his contract, he signed his rookie deal back in 2010, had another 5-year extension back in 2015. And then after 2020, he signed with the Niners. He got the 2021 deal. He had an $8 million cap hit. He got a $9 million cap hit, a $12 million cap hit. And then potential out this year. They didn't. They want Trent Williams. Why would you want to get out? No. $10 million cap hit, then $34 million, then $37 million. So Trent all of a sudden at 36 years old is like, yeah, I want to get paid more. No. Now they're eventually probably going to have to cave because he's the best left tackle in the game, but like some of these are not built like others when it comes to holdouts. Like Hassan Reddick's situation, by the way, I just want to laugh at that because the Niners and Jets are facing each other week 1 and they're both dealing with absolute dumpster fires of just noise and just stuff like that. And maybe dumpster fire is strong for the 49ers because they were just in the Super Bowl. For the Jets, that is absolutely the case. I mean, here you got Aaron Rodgers not showing up to mandatory OTAs. He's doing ayahuasca trips. He's going to concerts. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Then you got Hassan Reddick, who you traded for and knew he wanted a deal from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now he's like, yeah, I'm requesting a trade. It's just, hey, week 1 can't come soon enough. Monday Night Football, Levi Stadium. I can't wait. I can't wait for this break because on the other side, we're going to get more into the Niners, more into the Giants, more into the Warriors. All this just incredible content in the Bay. And who says this is the dog days of August? No. Not the dog days. This is like, what did Jerry West say? He's not a dog. He's a wolf. He eats dogs. This is kind of what we're doing at the game. We're eating up the dog days. We're wolves around here. All right? See Joe Shasky in the back. He's fired up. Sam Lubman, Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys. Find it wherever you get your podcasts. Also, find us on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube right now. We are streaming, and we're going to be doing that all day long right here on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, it's Bonte, and I just got back from touring River Islands in Lathrop. I was blown away actually seeing the place. When we talk about
You obviously saw Blake last year when he had a sort of a similar stretch in the second half. Is this comparable to that or even better?
I think it's a little better, actually, because it feels like he's got a no-hitter going almost every game. And, the strikeouts on top of it. I think his mix of pitches is even a little bit more so this year with the way the curveball, his usage of the curveball. It's every bit as good, if not maybe a little better as far as the stuff goes.
That was Susan Slusser of the San Francisco Chronicle asking Giants manager Bob Melvin if his ace Blake Snell is pitching better this year, right now, currently, at this very moment, than at any point last season when he won a Cy Young. And by the way, Cy Young, for those of you who don't know, it's the best pitcher in baseball. And not only the Giants have the two best pitchers in the National League right now, or outside of Chris, excuse me. Let me rewind that. Don't quote me, because Chris Sale was on display yesterday. He is the best pitcher in the National League right now from all season long. He is the Cy Young. But last year, you did have the one in Blake Snell who won the Cy Young for the San Diego Padres, and then finishing right behind him was Logan Webb. And you got both of those guys on this team right now. So just get into that damn tournament and see what happens. It's going to be very difficult. It's not impossible though. Like I keep hearing Giants fans. It's just, I get it. It's hard. It's difficult. You look at the loss column, you're 4 back, got a month to play. There's a lot still to happen. I understand. But it's not David versus Goliath kind of stuff. The Braves are 3-7 in their last 10. They have been leaking massive oil. You need to capitalize on this series. That is a fact. Last night's game hurt in a lot of ways because you just squandered a Blake Snell game. You couldn't hit for your life. A lot of that was Chris Sale. You don't have to face Chris Sale the rest of the series, so hopefully you're good there. But the Braves have been feeling the losses of Acuna, of Fried. Or not Fried, Strider, I should say. Is Fried hurt too? No. Max Fried. I'm going to be honest. My baseball outside of Bay Area market knowledge has been taking a fat nosedive ever since I just completely train wrecked in my fantasy baseball league. It's not been good. And I didn't really want to be in this league to begin with. But I did it. My brother was like, hey, come join this. I was like, all right. It's one of those where it's just weekly, if you don't have your lineup set by Monday at 10 o'clock, it's all, you can't change anything. Which is the dumbest thing ever. The dumbest rule of all time. Who plays like that? Part of the fun of baseball is mixing and matching. Getting this player. It's all trend-based. It's a lot different than fantasy football. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I do think fantasy football is a lot more unforgiving. If you're just paying attention in fantasy baseball, you're probably going to be fine. And for the 6 of you that care about this conversation, I'm talking to you right now, 888-957-9570. But it's been tough. It's been tough. And yeah, Fried's fine. Pitched in Colorado, gave up 4 earned runs just a couple days ago. He's 30 years old, by the way, Max Fried. Getting a little older there. And I can't talk about Blake Snell without talking about Chris Sale for a second, because Chris Sale of the Atlanta Braves, former Red Sox, I feel like we forgot that he pitched on the White Sox and was absolutely electric. I mean, Chris Sale pitched on the White Sox for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons. And he is one of the few guys to not win a Cy Young. It's unbelievable. He's the fastest in Major League Baseball history to 2,000 strikeouts. He has the most immaculate innings pitched, for those of you that care about that sort of stuff. I think it's cool. He's an 8-time All-Star. Won the World Series with Boston back in 2018 when they beat the Dodgers. I mean, he's been unbelievable. 2-time AL strikeout leader. And if he adds a Cy Young this year, probably a Hall of Fame lock, right? Right? I mean, if Blake Snell, who's probably going to be a Hall of Famer, 2-time Cy Young winner, there's just not a lot of multi-time Cy Young winners that aren't Hall of Famers. I got to look into that. I could be wrong. But, I mean, if you win one in the AL and the NL, and I know he wasn't an all-star this year, that was a bad first half, but I think this season actually shined lightly and just how amazing he was in the second half. Kind of has that Eric Chavez feel to it, when Eric Chavez would just not have an awesome first half, but he have amazing second halves all the time. Then you look up his stats, like how was he not an all-star at any point? That's going to be that kind of year for Blake Snell this year. But for Chris Sale, just looking at his stats this season, he's the Cy Young. 13-3, his record. 2.61 ERA. Started 22 games. 134 innings pitched. 177 strikeouts. And I was looking into this because I saw a lot of people tweeting last night. I was like, oh yeah, he's the lock. I was like, really? I was like, where's Skeens at? Where's my guy Paul Skeens at? Because ever since Skeens has come up, he's looked like the best pitcher. Not just in the National League, just in baseball. And then I looked up Skeens' numbers, and he's been unbelievable. But again, came in a little later, has 7 fewer starts than Sale this year. 7 fewer. Has 62 less strikeouts in them. Okay. But you figure 7 starts, these guys get 10 Ks each. That's about right. So, barring injury for Sale, if he just keeps on his track that he's doing, he's going to win it. I thought Skeens might have a chance, which would be some story, right? Rookie, Cy Young. Like, Pirates aren't dead yet in the standings, but they are leaking oil. I mean, they're 6 back. Maybe we can write them off now. Ooh, 1-9 in the last 10. Yeah, actually, no. Strike that. Reverse it. Yeah, they're done. 8 in a row they lost. Sorry, Goo. That is tough. It's tough.
I said, I'm a Pirate fan. You got to have more hope than that.
God, I love that drop.
It's bothering me.
It's okay, Goo. Future's bright still. Raise the Jolly Roger. Up until they, get rid of Skeens or anything like that. No, they're not doing that. They got a very exciting future. Like, this season of the National League has highlighted something for me, at least going forward, is that the young talent on display with all these teams, whether it's Cincinnati, whether it's Washington, whether it's Chicago, the Giants, obviously, a guy like Ramos, whether it's the Cardinals, whether it's the Mets, whether it's the Padres or the Diamondbacks. The National League is going to be stacked in the next couple of years with talent. And that's why making the playoffs this season and having a chance to showcase Snell, hell, Robbie Ray in a playoff series, get them some exposure there. Maybe, just maybe, you win a series. You win 2. You know what? I want to stay in San Francisco. Because their price tag is already shot up. Both those guys. Ray and Snell. And we're going to focus on Snell right now because that's the guy you want to keep. And absolutely. And Joe Shasky was bringing this up in the thread and then off the air. And I'm sure they'll get into it, the morning roast, in about 20 minutes, Bonte and Shasky. He's like, he'd give Blake Snell $200 or $300 million right now. Why not? And I don't disagree with him. You got to pay someone. Logan Webb's on the cheap right now. Jordan Hicks, God love the guy. He's not a starter yet. You tried it out this year and it worked for, half the season. Now he's, looking like a reliever and bullpen guy. That's fine. But you need to start stacking these guys. The common theme of all the teams that win World Series, and go back to the Giants, obviously, so you got to have top 2 elite pitchers in the playoffs. Now, you look at the Texas Rangers last year, and say what you will about Nathan Eovaldi, and if you think he's just he's a good player, he's not elite, well, come playoff time, Nathan Eovaldi's elite. I don't care what anyone says. Come playoff baseball time, that guy shoves when it matters most, whether it was with the Rangers or the Red Sox. Love me some Nathan Eovaldi. Jordan Montgomery last year, when they needed him to be that guy, was that guy. Now, I don't think he's had the resurgence that Blake Snell has had in his second half. Jordan Montgomery, another guy that didn't really get a lot of pitching time, spring training appearances early on in the season, and he's had a rough go of things. He's a 6.37 ERA, 7-6 record with Arizona, but Arizona's not skipping a beat. They are hot, and they are now the top NL wildcard spot. So More of this talk, more 49ers, more Warriors. We'll put a bow on this show and hand it off to Bontaine Shasky on the other side. One more segment on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
In business, success is never by chance. You know that better than anyone. So why settle for a marketing agency that gambles with your money? At Scale Marketing, we
Welcome back. One more segment here at the pregame show before handing it off to Monte Hill and Joe Shasky. It's a tough loss yesterday. 1-0 the final in San Francisco as the Braves and Chris Sale get the job done. Blake Snell is still amazing, though. He was. 6 1/3, 2 hits, 3 walks, 11 Ks, though. He just has no-hit stuff right now. Every time he jumps onto that mound, you are watching greatness. You watched greatness just personified yesterday. Pitchers' duels in baseball, I still contend, is the greatest watch this sport has. I love the home runs. I love stolen bases. I love the little, back and forth beefs between players, stuff like that. I love that. But something about two guys just shoving and no one can hit anything, and every single situation when a player does get on base gets magnified 10%, 10 times or 100,000%, whatever. It means something to me still. I feel like that wrestling guy still means something to me, damn it. Pitchers duels, man. Can't get enough. Like Chris Sale and Snell, that felt like a playoff type of game. And hell, who knows? Maybe both of these teams do make the playoffs. It's going to be a little difficult. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's one or the other. Not impossible, but the way the Diamondbacks and Padres are playing right now, it's just unbelievable. I don't think anyone, I think most people saw the Padres hanging around. I didn't think this resurgence for the Diamondbacks was coming. I didn't see it happening. But they've been unbelievable. They've been 8-2 in their last 10 games. They've won 4 in a row now. And every time I see the highlights late at night, it's the Padres making a comeback. It's the Diamondbacks making a comeback, right? The Mets for a while were doing that. They've lost 3 in a row. They've cooled down. Whereas the Yankees, they've heated back up. Although, the Yankees, oof. Yikes.
What did I do wrong?
The White Sox just came in there and tapped that ass. The White Sox destroying the New York Yankees. Did not have that on my docket yesterday and Monday, but you know what? It is baseball. That happens. It doesn't mean you ought to like it if you're in New York, and I'm sure they're just eviscerating them today on those airwaves. Rightfully so, but they're still 20 games over. But not good enough to be the leader in the American League East. That would go to to the Baltimore Orioles, I should say, who have one fewer loss at 49 than the New York Yankees at 50. This is going to be an awesome September. I know we're only halfway through August, but I can't wait for this September race. For the National League, for the American League, for the Giants. Like, I was all ready to move on just 2 weeks ago and just flip the page on the Giants completely. We're like, okay, we got the 49ers, we got storylines, we got this Ayuk stuff, we got Trent Williams stuff, Kyle Shanahan, Ricky Pearsall, Brock Purdy contract looming. I have already they were just in the Super Bowl. Can they do it again? I am just full force NFL. We got Caleb Williams balling out this past weekend. God, by the way, I think Caleb Williams is going to be so sick. I don't care if you think I'm overreacting. Spadoni was one preseason game. That guy had command of everything. That guy's arm. Like, I watched. Yeah, and you're going to think this is sick because during the gold medal game, I was actually watching Aiden O'Connell snaps and Gardner Minshew snaps against J.J. McCarthy. That's football, though, people. We're sick, okay? We're sick individuals. But I saw the difference between Aiden O'Connell, a second-year guy, a fourth-round pick out of Purdue last year, who had some success, solid last year, but the physical skill sets of a guy like Caleb Williams, what I saw, just rolling to the right on a broken play and just throwing a dime, all the arm strength in the world, and it's so effortless. And I've always been a Caleb guy. I don't care. He's going to be so sick. Chicago finally has got a quarterback, and that should scare the hell out of the rest of the NFC. That's a team that could have a Texans type of jump that the Texans had with CJ Stroud and DeMeco Ryans last year. That's how highly I think of the skill position players, whether it's Roma Dunze, whether it's Keenan Allen, who's been an all-time underrated wide receiver in the National Football League, calzone, not a calzone, but calzone. I can go for a calzone though right now. A little pepperoni, a little salami action, a little sausage, maybe some black olives in there. Why not? Love that.
Are you going to have a little salad? Some beans? Maybe a touch of pasta? Some chicken? Spaghetti? Give me the meat. Give me the meat.
It's the second give me the meat that stresses me out when he says that.
Give me the meat.
Steiny. Give Steiny the meat, guys. I'm sure he'll have a lot of it from 10 to 2. A lot of meat on the bone, if you will. I'm curious to hear what the conversation was yesterday of Steph. Legacy game for Steph Curry, I'm sure, against France. And the legacy is set because that was incredible. I'm so excited for football, but I'm also excited for baseball. I think that's just what I'm trying to say here, people. Baseball is alive and well in the races in the American League, and it looks like it's going to probably be through the 5 teams in the wild card race anyways. Yankees, they're going to be locked in. The Twins, the Royals, Red Sox, and Mariners. That's where it's going to be at. And then you got, obviously, the Mariners, and you got the Astros vying for it. The Guardians are still only a couple games ahead of the Twins, and then you got the Yankees and Orioles. So there's going to be some mixing and matching there throughout the end of this season. I can't wait for that. And then the National League has just been chaos, pure chaos. The Dodgers they're no lock to win their own division. The Padres or the Diamondbacks can win that division, which is just nuts. It's nuts. Can the Giants? Relax. That's a little too nuts. But the Giants making the wild card, I still believe. All right. I still believe that in week 1, Brandon Ayuk will be a San Francisco 49er. And I'm starting to believe more and more he's playing on a 5th-year option. I think that's where we're headed. Here's Adam Schefter on with Pat McAfee talking about the latest Brandon Ayuk.
Now it looks like the focus and emphasis is on keeping him in San Francisco and not trading him. But I would say that this has had many twists and turns to it. And until there's final resolution, you don't know. But the 49ers want to keep him. They don't want to trade him. They've never wanted to trade him. They've wanted to get a deal worked out with him. The deal has been elusive.
That gave me a whole lot of nothing, to be honest with you. Thanks, Shefty. Yeah, they want to keep him here, but there's been a lot of twists and turns. We've known this. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Is he staying or going? That's all I care about. And again, no one knows. So that report Friday that was getting all Niners fans' hopes up. Oh, they've come back at the table. There's been an airing of grievances. Was this Festivus? Nut up or shut up. Let's go. And that's not saying to Ayuk or it's saying to everyone. Let's hurry this S along. And by the way, Andrew Filipponi, yikes. Love you, guy, but yikes. Ayuk's going to be a Steeler. It was locked, set in stone. Get a new source. Pittsburgh's down bad. They got to watch Justin Fields or Russell Wilson next year. That's tough. It's like watching Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew. It's going to be tough. But you got to have faith, right? 49ers faithful? You got Brock Purdy. We'll be fine. It's the second coming of Jesus Christ. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I know he's a believer. He might think he's like a Spadoni. You need to relax. But he is the golden child. He is the heir apparent to take over. We're watching Stephen Curry right now, and he is the greatest player in the history of Bay Area sports. I don't care. You can have your Montanas, you can have your Rices, you can have your Ricky Hendersons, you can have all of them. Charles Woodson, if you want to throw him in there. Packers. Reggie Jackson, Barry Bonds. It's Stephen Curry. Willie Mays, RIP. Who's that next guy to take over, though? And no, it's not Blake Snell, who is fun, It's Brock Purdy. He's going to be that guy going forward here. And that level of expectation is going to come with scrutiny. And that scrutiny is going to be on center stage this season more so than a lot of other quarterbacks. Why? Because it's a contract year and people are waiting for him to fail. Why? First off, because people just hate success. Misery loves company. That's just a fact. I admit it. I'm one of those people sometimes. Certain things, I'm a sore loser. Hey, we all have some of that within us. It's okay to admit it. But for the media, they want to get proven right. Players, personnel, they want to get proven right. This guy was Mr. Irrelevant. He shouldn't be doing this. Well, he's got a huge opportunity and 300 million reasons why this season is going to define the future in San Francisco. And maybe this next show in the Morning Roast is going to define the future of their show in San Francisco. Just relax. It's not a legacy game or show for Bonte and Chasky. But it's going to be a good one on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey.